Hey dealers, my name is Jacob and I'm going to show you how to use this internet department doc. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is you need to make a copy of this Google spreadsheet here. And how you're going to do that is hit File and Make a Copy. Name it whatever you like, but just hit Make a Copy when you're done, and then you should have your own. The doc is read-only in this version, so you cannot edit the one that you've opened up. You're going to have to make a copy for yourself. Make as many copies as you want. Now, the first tab is going to be our daily activity report. Now, if you see the examples that I've gotten here, we are in the month of May. And this is going to be broken up into 4 main parts, and I'll explain those. This first part here, these first 5 columns are going to be your different types of new opportunities. Okay, we've got BBAC leads, we've got showroom leads, new internet leads, new inbound phone leads, new campaign leads. And these are all going to be marked and put in here per day. Okay, and what we'll get at the end of this is a nice graph. It'll kind of show you some progress, not only daily, but we can include that into a weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, but you got to do it every single day. Okay, don't edit anything in the yellow portion. Okay, those are kind of hands off. We got that up here at the top, pretty clear and easy. Now the second portion here is going to be what activity do we have going on with our appointments today? So we've got today's showroom appointments. These are people that are set to come into your showroom, your dealership today. And that is something that could be same day appointments. It could be set previously and showing up today, or set to show up today. But I want to see on this Google spreadsheet how many you have set for the day. Okay. And this is to be completed at the end of the day, by the way. Okay. There's a recap of what happened. Today's appointment shown, exactly like it sounds, how many people came into the showroom from the set appointments today. Today's missed appointments, exactly like it sounds. You either show or you don't. So in this case, we had nine appointments showroom, 8 showed up and 1 missed. Okay, 8 plus 1 is 9. Today's appointment sold, that's how many appointments that you would set sold today. Okay, and that's per unit. Okay, so if they buy 1 motorcycle, that's 1 sold. If they buy an ATV and a trailer, that's 2 sold. If they buy 2 jet skis in a trailer, that's 3 sold per 1 appointment. Okay, so we want to count each individual vehicle on this. Okay, and then the all sold, this is going to be your full department. Okay, so your sales department as a whole sold X amount, including your internet department sold. I hope that makes sense. So the only sales that we've got according to this would be the 2 that the internet department brought in, right? But if we look at some of these previous days, the all sold would be equal or more than your department's, your internet department's today's appointment sold. Okay, so we look at that for contribution numbers. If your sales department sells 10, but your BDC sold 5, well, you would have a 50% contribution because you sold 5 out of the total 10. Okay. Now, this third column here is going to be your outbound activity. And this is key because this is going to track your progress and your productivity. Okay. So, outbound calls, exactly how it sounds. This is not just one person, this is the whole department. So, if you're by yourself, pretty easy. It's how many you did. But if it's your department, you're going to have to add up each individual person and then total it here. In this case, we had 87 outbound calls today. Okay. Not callbacks, outbound calls. Emails sent, same thing. How many emails did the entire team send? These aren't replies either. These are new. We're fishing here, right? SMS, text messages sent, 23, and new appointments set. So these are going to be the appointments that you set today for either same day or future appointments. Okay. Now, what it does here is it starts to do a little math. So our appointment show rate is going to be the show rate from your today's appointments. Your sold rate is going to be how many you sold from the shown. Lead close rate is going to be how many you sold from the total leads. Contribution is going to be your department sold compared to the contribution of the overall total sales department, because you guys are a big team, right? And then the appointment set rate is how many appointments that you got set from the leads. Okay. So that's the first tab. We call that the daily activity report. The second tab is going to be the monthly sold deals. So most departments have a doc that they talk about, gross profits. Now, if you are privy to that information, this is a place to track it and kind of go over some metrics for your full department. Now, if you don't use this, if you don't have access to that information, this is something that your sales manager can do, and you can kind of use this internet department doc between sales manager, internet team, internet manager, BDC manager, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom here. So from line 15 down is where you would list out your sold deals. Okay, now all of these columns do a little something. Okay, so it's best not to mess with them, but you can modify them slightly. The stock number, year, model name, okay, the model code, the front end GP, this is the gross profit on the front, and then the back end GP, this is all your F&I profit. If there's a rebate on the unit, we want to list it. The unit age from your DMS, any parts and accessories that are sold to it, okay, not the profit on it, the full bill of P&A and labor to put it on, the customer's last name, the down payment if they put one down on the financing, any trade info, and then the rep's name. And I'm going to scroll over just a little bit. So the rep would be the salesperson, the rep, the BDC agent, the date that it was sold, the opportunity type, and I'll get to these in a second because it's a copy and paste, and then the sold source. Okay. So these do correlate to some of these numbers up here. Again, anything in yellow you do not want to edit. Okay, but we've set this up for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-person team, including that manager. Now, as you start to fill this out, it starts to make count up here for unit counts. Okay, this row number 4. Okay. Now, the manager, as we set this pay plan up, and you can adopt this, and we'll certainly give you some more information on how this pay plan works, but you can see that it clearly does the math. And I do have pay plan examples here on a different tab. But what you want to do is you want to start filling this out, and as you go, it'll start counting these different metrics up here. So for the payroll or commission structure, the way that this is set up is typically I would pay my teams a base salary just for doing the job, an hourly or a base salary, however you and your dealership want to do it, plus commissions on the sold vehicles. Okay, so in this case, we are selling vehicles and marking them to a rep name here by the initials, and you can see that up here that this first name is Peter with PS. Okay. Now to change that, let's say we want to use my name. We want to use Jacob, right? So I'll put in Jacob, and I'll just put JB, okay, because that's the initials that I'm going to go by. But this is really the only column that is yellow that you can make a one-time edit to as you add a new person to it. Okay, but if you see this formula here, count if M15 through M215 equals PS, I just want to change that PS to JB. Okay. Now, anything that I edit over here in this column for the rep is going to count it for me. So there's a JB, there's a JB, and you can see that it starts counting and adding up on my commissions here for this section. Okay. Again, if this is someone that you want to change right here, Mike, MC, you go to this unit sold, and it's going to look for any initials in this column right here where you can see my cursor that match MC. Okay, so that would be the only time that you want to edit anything in this yellow section, is just to change the salesperson's initials. And then once you fill out everything in white down here, it starts to count it for you. Okay. We can put in a place for spiffs. So let's say that we had a deal, first unit out before 10 a.m., or we had a hat trick on a weekend and that paid $500. We can use this for some payroll if this is the model that you want to go with, but really this is just to kind of track and keep accounting of the commission structure and any types of spiffs. Okay. So I'll remove that. Now, again, these yellow sections down here, starting with row 10 and 11, and 12, they start to count up your totals and then your averages. Okay. So if you're looking for an average deal of your department, so far we're at $1,600, but we've made $9,600 total on the front end. Same thing with the back end, and same thing with the rebates, even though we don't get paid on rebates. It's nice to track it and easy to make a formula of. Some internet departments, some sales departments, they will pay a spiff or a commission on accessories. Um, the some of the examples that I've seen are 10%, 15%, but we've just added this up to say, hey, here's your total accessories, and then 10% of that goes into this column here. Okay, so that's that tab. Source names. Here's how we get into the source names. So I added a bunch of examples here for you. You're welcome to modify this or change your own. But the opportunity types kind of they fall into one of these five: showroom up, inbound, internet, campaign, and be back. For first party source names, this is a lot of your own dealership's assets or online stuff that you have full control over, like dealer website. But we also split it into the different forms available on a dealer website. So dealer website, get quote, finance app, test ride. A lot of websites have a trade tool. They also have a chat tool, like Engage to Sell or some of the other ones that are fully managed, where they man your website and then they present you with a web lead. That's a chat lead. Pre-qualify. That's if they do like a pre-qualification app, a short app, or a soft pull. Payment calculator, that's become very popular lately. And then just a couple generic ones like Google search or your social media. Third parties, these are where you're going to have leads generated from exactly third parties, right? Cycle Trader, Moto Hunt's a big one, Auto Trader, GoRolic. A lot of guys are doing their own Facebook marketplace listings. If it generated a lead, we need to mark that as such. Craigslist, and then if you have that same chat provider doing chat on your social media, it could go on there as well. We've got all the factory leads. Most of these, if not all of them, should be providing some kind of lead from the factory efforts. Some of the best out there are Polaris and Indian. BRP's pretty good. Yamaha's pretty good. All of them should be sending leads to you occasionally, if not very frequently. Okay. And then we have some campaign source names. The biggest one out there is an orphan. An orphan customer would be someone who's assigned to a salesperson that is no longer with you. And then they get reassigned to the new guy to fill his pipeline. And so if you're making outbound calls, you're sending text messages and emails, we want to label them as an orphan customer. Okay. Referral, pretty easy there. Service to sales is another one where someone is prospecting in the service department to trade in their vehicle, and now we've got a sale out of it. And then a couple of event leads: in store, offsite, a partner or influencer, and then like a meetup and a ride. All right, and then this last form that we can fill out here is the trades and purchases. This is just a way to track any trades and purchases that are coming through your internet department. We have a lot of deals out there where people want to trade something in towards something else. This is just a good way to kind of keep track of it. Also, a lot of dealerships, they do pay on trades and or curb purchases or buybacks, as they're sometimes called. So this is just a good way to keep an accounting of it and keep going from there. And then the very, very last tab is the example of the pay plans. So we have a per person, and then we have a manager for the team. Again, this is just an example. If you want to use this, fantastic. It's pretty fair in terms of how you structure the hourly or salary to accompany this commission structure. But all of the formulas in the monthly sold deals tab, this one right here, are built off of the pay plans here for per person and then for a manager of an entire team if you've got a multi-person team. So that's really quick how to use this. Oh, the last thing is what happens after the month end. Okay. Well, what I would tell my people is, well, we need to download this or make another copy of it. So what I would typically tell them is if you hit file and then you would download, you can download this into an Excel spreadsheet and save it on your desktop, or you can just make a copy. And then once you do that, we'll just make a copy here. Okay. And then we can name these from the, we can name these for the different months. So let's call this one, May, whatever it is. And then what you would want to do is just highlight everything in here and clear it out. And then you are starting from scratch. Okay. So any questions, definitely let us know. Again, this is a doc that is just really user friendly. You can manipulate some of these if you're handy with any type of spreadsheet or formulas, but it's a good tracking system to accompany your CRM, which the CRM is for the sales department total. And doesn't always break out just the internet sales activities. So this is a good way to kind of help keep track of your department, your internet, web, or BDC department, and hope that you get a lot of value out of it. Thanks.